Hey friends, happy Thursday. Welcome to another Stamp Happy video here on my channel. I'm so glad you stopped in. My name's Jana and I've got a sweet, maybe it could be considered sour because I'm using Lemon's card today with a fun technique. So let me just see if I can get this. There we are. All right, so the chat is up. So if you're here, please say hello. If I can get the light to quit glaring on my screens, maybe I can see what's going on. All right. So first of all, this is the address to my shopping site. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So if you'd like to shop with me, if you don't already have a demonstrator, that's how you can find me. This is my host code for the month of July. I didn't have enough J's. Apparently there's only 2 J's in this little set of letters to put July over here. So I changed it to say host. If you shop with me during the month and spend $50 before shipping and handling, or taxes, I mean, shipping and taxes, I will send you a little thank you gift the following month, but you need to put that host code on when you check out. And again, that will come the following month from your order. Okay, so there is that. I always post this code down below in the description box. Plus, you'll find it on the landing page when you go to shop at my site there. So that is that. And then I wanted to show you the stamp set and things that I'm using today. Now, when this came out in the mini catalog, you could get it as a bundle, but now the stamp set and these two things here come separately. But the stamp set is called Sweet Citrus. It is a photopolymer stamp set. Here's a little sneak peek, kind of. I'm not going to be using them together today, but when you stamp and use the embossing folder and the dies all together, that is what you come up with. A very textured and embossed image, which is lots of fun. So anyway, that is the stamp set. And then the embossing folder and the dies come together as a set because you put these dies, this one right here, into the embossing folder to cut out your image if you want to do it that way. You don't have to. Today I'm using the embossing folder by itself. And let's get started. I think I'm having some allergies or something. I don't know. I sound so sniffly and snuffy. All right, so I've got a white card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, the usual. I went ahead and embossed my piece of white here, and I'll measure that for you. What did I do with my ruler? Here it is. I knew I had it right here. Okay, so 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 is the size that I have cut this panel to. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And then in the background, I'm using one of the papers from the Fun Glorious Gingham collection. So you get all kinds of fun colors in here, and there's a small gingham and then the bigger on a diagonal, but great colors. Just a nice, if you like these gingham patterns, these are really fun for Christmas time too, but they're good all year. I just love gingham. So I'm going to use this side of that. And so I've just got my little parts and pieces here, but we're going to start with this. And I'm going to do a technique here that is new to me. It's not new by any means. And I want to thank Jill Norwood here on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. But anyway, she did a video the other day and showed how she colored up an embossed image with alcohol markers. I have never tried that, and I thought, okay, that really looks like fun and it's interesting. Let me give that a try. I have colored up embossed images many times using chalks or using my regular ink pads and a finger dauber or a sponge, something like that, but I never thought to color it, the raised images, with alcohol markers. So that's what I'm doing today. I have got 3 colors is all I'm going to be working with here. This is the new, well, this is a returning color, I believe, called Lemon Lolly. So I'm going to be using the light and dark. These are the alcohol markers. And then I've got the dark Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to start with the light. Now the marker that Jill used, and thank you, Jill, for showing that technique, by the way. I really appreciate it, and I think it's really fun. And hello, the Crafty Visage. Is that how you pronounce that? The Crafty Visage. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Okay, so the marker she used had, I think, a fine tip on one end. She was using a Copic, and it had the chisel tip on the other end, and she was using the chisel tip. I'm going to use the brush tip, and hopefully I'm not too shaky today. But it is what it is, and it will be fine, as I always say. So I'm going to color the inside of the lemon. Now this can be a lemon, a lime, an orange, a grapefruit. It can be whatever citrus you want it to be, these cut ones. Whereas the whole fruit there would either be a lemon or a lime. But you can mix and match your citrus fruits on the card too. But I'm just going to be using the Lemon Lolly. And what you want to use, if you have the chisel tip, you'll just use that flat chisel end of it. With the brush tip, what I found is you just kind of want to lay it like this on the paper and use a light touch, okay? Don't push down hard. So even it kind of helps to hold your marker, if you're using a brush one, at the end of the marker, because then you're not so apt to push down as hard. So you're just going to lightly brush that along the raised edge. You might pick up some of it that's not raised here and there, but you can go back with a colorless blender or whatever and take that color away if you want to. In this case, I don't really think it's that big of a deal if I pick up some of the flat area, but I'm going to try not to. So it's just going to take me a few minutes here to get this colored up. I thought about doing one up ahead, but it's really not that big a deal to get it all colored. I hope you are having a great summer. We've got a busy month this month, really. This weekend, we are members of our local car club here, and this weekend is our big car show that our club sponsors. And so we had a meeting about that last night, and tonight we're doing a drive to dine that the club does once a month. Usually during the month of the car show, they don't do it, but they decided to go ahead and do it and just stay local. So we're driving to a pizza place that's about 5 miles from us here for our dinner tonight. So that'll be fun. And then the car show Saturday. They're expecting around 200 cars to be in the show. So of course, you know, we're working at it. I'll be working in the silent auction booth. We've gathered up lots of things that people have, businesses have donated for items in the silent auction. And I worked in that last year too. It's pretty fun. Okay, so you can see how if you go lightly, your marker tends to just pretty much stay on the raised area. It's not too hard. Yeah, I guess I just never thought of using a marker to do this because I figured it wouldn't be this easy to color, you know, just the raised area. I would think that it would tend to want to bleed, especially with an alcohol marker, bleed into the flat areas, but I don't find that that's the case, not too much anyway. And sometimes it's fun to just play with your embossing folders. I have got a ton of embossing folders. Now this would be kind of fun to do with like a polka dot embossing folder and make all the polka dots a different color. You know, I mean, pick a few different colors and do multiple colors. You could make a really fun birthday card that way. Okay, I think I've done all the light yellow areas. Now also what I have found with this lemon lolly, these are new to me, this color, is that lemons are really summery, don't you? I think so too. I think I don't see a whole big difference in the two colors, but I am going to go with the dark lemon lolly and do the rind of the fruit here. There is a little bit of difference in the color, but it's not an extreme difference in the light and dark shades. And when I get to the skinny edge here, kind of find that it's easier to use the bullet tip. So let me take that off and come around here. And then I'll do this one since I'm in this area. And I'll do this little one over here. We're finally having some more summery weather. I mean, summery for our area. It's in the 60s. I know in a lot of places people would be bundling up in coats if their temperatures were only in the 60s. But here on the coast, when it's in the 60s, that's summer for us. But really, I think it was just last week, I was still on some days having to give in and turn the heat on. I thought maybe we weren't going to have any summer weather here this year, but this week, and thankfully, since that car show's coming up, it's a little bit nicer. Okay, so let me For the rest of this lemon here, go ahead and use the brush tip. Okay, I hope you will bear with me here in getting this colored. It won't be too much longer before I have it done. And then we will move on to the next step. I have been working in my junk journal, doing junk journal July. So I'm really behind just because I've been busy. But that's okay, you know. I don't have to have it finished in July. I kind of was hoping to get caught up so I'd be doing the right day on the right day, but it's not that big a deal. I did a December daily one time, and it was kind of the same thing. But it was really fun, and I loved how that turned out in the end. Okay, I went over just a little bit on that one over the edge, so I'm just going to take my colorless blender here and erase that color there. And when that dries, it will be okay. And I've got just a couple more rinds here, and then I can do the little bit of leaves that are on here. And this one. And I think I got everything that needed yellow. So there is that. And now for the leaves. There's not much of them, so I'm just using the bullet tip on these because they're small. Some are leaves, some are part of branches. And there's a little indent there in some of these leaves, so I could take my marker down into that, but I kind of just liked letting the ink flow if it wants to, or not if it doesn't want to, and leave that little bit of a white highlight in the middle of the leaf. Now, another thing you could do with embossing folders that I have not tried yet either is watercolor the raised image. So that would probably be fun to try sometime, and I would think you would want to do it with not too wet of a brush. But you'd get a whole different look with that too, I think. Yeah, back in the day, I just learned to do it with chalks or pastels and never did try it with markers. There's one little bit right there. I think I got it all. Yep. All right, so one last thing I'm going to do with this, and I am going to just take my Wink of Stella. You could go over the whole entire lemon, but I decided to just do the rind because a lot of times Wink of Stella tends to darken color a little bit, and so I thought it would help to just do that. with the rind and then the whole lemons here. Darken them up a little bit and glisten them up, which is fun. Oh, speaking of fun, my granddaughter Emma and her mom they're in London, and I think actually today maybe, I don't know what the time difference is there, but they were going to Paris, and I saw my Emma, she posted over on Instagram pictures standing in front of Windsor Castle and stuff, and she looks like a princess anyway. She's got a huge mane of gorgeous red hair, and so today to go to the castle she had a really cute white dress on that was very flowy and off her shoulders, and her long red hair, and she just looks like a princess. She actually got to be a princess of their local strawberry festival in her senior year of high school. But her and her mom just did a girls' trip, and so it's just the two of them there having fun. It was kind of her, well, she's 2 years out of high school, so she got her, what do you call it, her bachelor's degree or whatever for her 2 years of community college, and now she'll be heading to the state college. She wants to be a teacher. So girls just want to have fun, right? All right. Let me hold this up and see if you can, if the light, I don't know if my light's going to pick up any of that shimmer that you can see maybe there a little bit. It's hard. I don't know why cameras just, they don't want to pick up the shimmer and glittery things for some reason. I think my Wink of Stella pin is getting to the bottom of the barrel. I can put a few drops of alcohol in it, I think, and try to get, you know, some of that glittery goodness out of there, and not let it go to waste. I don't know if any of you have tried that or not, but okay. Looks like I got it all, so it's all shimmery now. Okay, so I have a little square here that I have cut from white, and it is 1 1/4 inches square. And I have loaded up from the stamp set, Thanks a Bunch. And the color of the gingham that I'm using there is Blueberry Bushel, so I'm going to use my Blueberry Bushel ink. Oh, I overdid it. Hopefully, if I don't press too hard, I won't pick up that extra ink. Yay! That is really a cute font, I think. Let me just clean that stamp off and the block, because that ink pad was so juicy. That's because it's new. All right, so I got that off of there. And then I brought out these Stitched with Whimsy dies. These are so cute. Now the thing with these dies is they just add the stitching. They don't cut the outside shape. So I'm just going to use this smallest one here. And I'm going to frame the words there. And run this through my machine real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, let me see what everybody's saying. Watercolor using the inks that are, yeah, using the ink pads or your ink refills. And you can see the shimmer, that's good. Yeah, blue and yellow together. It's just a really fun summer combination, I think. Okay, so there's the little fun stitching. Let's put this card together. So what I'm going to do first, actually, I think I will stamp the greeting inside. And I saved this little bit that I had trimmed off of my front panel. And what I'm going to do with this, because it's not long enough to go across the bottom there, is I am going to flag it. Come on. And I'm just going to take it up to the score, the fold score there, but not past it. Otherwise my card won't want to fold back up right. So that's just a little added interest there on the inside. And then I've got the saying, sending you a big squeeze. And I'll try not to get my ink all over like I did on the small one. There we go. Too cute. Okay, so this background piece I am going to go ahead and attach. And on the my practice card that I made, I used the small gingham. So when I'm finished with this one, I'll show you that one, and you can see the difference between using the small print and the bigger one. They're both cute, so you can't go wrong. All right, so there's that. And then I've got some blue and white twine here. And what do I want? Does it really matter? I did my first one that direction, so I guess I'll just stick with that. So I'm just going to wrap it around here a couple of times. I don't think tying a bow with twine is quite as easy as tying a bow with ribbon, just because you're working with a smaller thing here. And I don't have anybody to hold their finger there, right? Like when you're wrapping presents and it's like, hold your finger there to hold the knot in place. And I don't want a gigantic bow, so I just need to make this a little bit smaller. And one side, for whatever reason, always wants to twist. All right. Now we can attach it. You can pop it up if you want to, but I am putting it down flat. For one thing, I'm going to be mailing these cards, so I don't want them too dimensional so that I have to put a bunch of extra postage on them. I like to run my adhesive right over the top of that twine to help keep it in place. And just pop it right down onto here. Get it where I want it. Now then, I am going to, oh, I need my little finger dauber. Oh, I already had it out. I think this is blueberry, yep. And I'm just going to ink around the edges of this. There we go. Make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers here, and I am going to pop that up. So let's see here. It's going to go over where my twine is, so I want to just make sure that I put these at the top and the bottom and leave that little area through the middle for the twine to go through so that my dimensionals won't be on top of the twine. And I think, is that one showing? Yeah, I need to move it. See if I can get it pulled back off of there. There we go. And there you have it. Thanks a bunch. Sending you a big squeeze. And there is the other one using the other side of the paper. So a very refreshing lemony card. I love it. Very summery looking for sure. Okay, let's see. I just made a set of cards using blue and yellow with lemons. Favorite color combo. I like to use my reverse tweezers to hold my twine. Hey, that's a great idea, and I know that, and I never think to do it. Very pretty. Thank you so much. All right, story time. Okay. If you've been with me, you know we are still in A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson. Old, old, old. He is the same author that wrote Treasure Island and some other things. So this is from, you know, many, many years ago. And we left off with this, my ship and I. So there's all these little verses and stories in here. Oh, it's I that am the captain of a tidy little ship, of a ship that goes a-sailing on the pond. And my ship it keeps a-turning all around and all about, but when I'm a little older I shall find the secret out, how to send my vessel sailing on beyond. For I mean to grow as little as the dolly at the helm, and the dolly I intend to come alive. And with him beside to help me, it's a sailing I shall go. It's a sailing on the water when the jolly breezes blow, and the vessel goes a divvy dive. Oh, it's then you'll see me sailing through the rushes and the reeds, and you'll hear the water singing at the prow. For beside the dolly sailor, I'm to voyage and explore, to land upon the island where no dolly was before, and to fire the penny cannon in the bow. My kingdom. Down by a shining water well, I found a very little dell, no higher than my head. The heather and the gorse about in summer bloom were coming out, some yellow and some red. I called the little pool a sea. The little hills were big to me, for I am very small. I made a boat, I made a town. I searched the caverns up and down and named them one and all. And all about was mine, I said, the little sparrows overhead, the little minnows too. This was the world I was king. For me the bees came by to sing. For me the swallows flew. I played there were no deeper seas, nor any wider plains than these, nor other kings than me. At last I heard my mother call out from the house at evenfall to call me home to tea. And I must rise and leave my dell, and leave my dimpled water well, and leave my heather blooms. Alas, and as my home I neared, how very big my nurse appeared, how great and cool the rooms. His stories, and this one included, apparently when he was a child, he didn't live to be very old, but he was ill and in bed a lot. So you pick up that, you know, in these stories and in these things that he, you know, talks about. He talks a lot about being in bed and dreaming and different things like that, his imagination. Because I'm thinking that that was mostly what he had, was his imagination. Picture books in winter. Summer fading, winter comes, frosting mornings, tingling thumbs, window robins, winter rooks, and the picture story books. Water now is turned to stone, nurse and I can walk upon, still we find the flowing brooks in the picture story books. All the pretty things put by wait upon the children's eye, sheep and shepherds, trees and crooks in the picture story books. We may see how all things are, seas and cities near and far, and the flying fairies' looks in the picture storybooks. How am I to sing your praise, happy chimney corner days, sitting safe in nursery nooks, reading picture storybooks? Okay, so we'll leave it at that, and next time we'll start with my treasures. We are on page 91 of 137. We've come pretty far in this little book. I need to look at my other tiny books and see which one will be next. It might be my tea-themed one. That might be kind of fun. And I didn't mean to make that rhyme. Anyway, thanks for joining me today, you guys. I had fun trying this technique of coloring raised embossed images with a marker. That was just a different thing for me, and I hope you'll give it a try if you haven't done so yet. And I'm planning to have a video up for Saturday morning makes, I'm going to have to record it and set it to come on that morning, since we'll be doing the car show. And so come back and take a look at that. And I will see you in my next video. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.